What do you think? Let's go. Whoa.
Martial arts is a very broad term that encompasses a lot of disciplines. It includes a number of sports, which originated chiefly in Japan, China, and Korea, as a form of attack or self-defense. And it includes kendo, karate, and judo, among many others. There are some martial arts that are just too good to be true, or just don't seem applicable in real life. After all, there are no rules in the street fight, and you can't expect people who are about to jump you to be polite or to let you know beforehand. In this video, we're going to talk about all the martial arts that have been exposed and debunked by mixed martial arts. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. MMA, or mixed martial arts, has become one of the greatest success stories of the past decade, and it does not show any signs of slowing down. Mention MMA and people wouldn't know about it decades ago, but times have changed. Even though there were ups and downs since it was launched, it's undeniable that MMA has continued to evolve. Yes, MMA is a competition. It's exciting, unpredictable, and sometimes it can be gory. But is it really a sport? The answer is yes. It takes months of preparation and training to get ready for a fight, which sometimes doesn't even last 10 minutes. Although some would think it's unprofessional and violent, it's a sport. It's not just about beating someone to a pulp. It also teaches you about patience and discipline. It can't be debated that it's violent, but you can see the fighters showing respect for each other at the end of a fight. MMA fighters are out to expose fake martial arts. When you think about it, it's quite amazing that there are plenty of martial arts which have existed for more than 100 years without being called out or being pretty much useless. Some MMA fighters have made it their life mission to expose these martial arts for what they truly are. Let's begin right now. Let's start the list with Aikido. Aikido seems like a very polite Japanese martial art. It's split into various different styles, including Shotokan Aikido, Iwama Shinshin Aiki Shirinkai, and Iwama Ryu. Originally developed by Morihei Ueshiba, it's now practiced in 140 countries. The creator's goal was to create an art which people could use to not only defend themselves, but also protect attackers from injury. The concept, we have to admit, is very good, but people are asking, why would you want to protect your attackers from injury? Is this even real? If you search on the internet, you'll see countless demonstration videos where attackers are of the least effective variety. They just willingly go along with the master and offer very little to no resistance. How are we supposed to believe that? It seems that Aikido only works when you demonstrate, but never in real life. A branch of Aikido was formed in 1967, and it put more emphasis on competition and sparring. Shotokan Aikido has world championships every year, but when matched up with other fighting styles, it just doesn't match up. When it comes to a real fight, MMA fighters just don't think it won't accomplish much because your attacker is going to resist and won't just willingly go along with you. But don't tell Steven Seagal that, because he's got a 7th Dan black belt in Aikido. Next is Kung Fu. This one's going to ruffle a few feathers. Kung Fu, or Gong Fu, is both a form of exercise and a spiritual dimension and unarmed mode of personal combat. It is often compared to Taekwondo or karate. We have seen plenty of Kung Fu, and it's often been portrayed in Hollywood movies. Think Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Kung Fu looks great in magical situations, where stars run atop trees and the sides of buildings. However, in real fight situations, this doesn't really happen. Kung Fu is actually a term used to cover any activity which needs patience and discipline, but it's often associated with the practice and development of martial arts. Shaolin Kung Fu, a variation, is quite possibly the oldest martial art that is still practiced today. While Kung Fu goes beyond martial arts, it doesn't really work in real life and real fight situations. Match one up with a mixed martial arts practitioner and you'll see the big difference. A Chinese MMA fighter named Zhu Xiaodong went viral on social media when he posted a video of him challenging a Kung Fu master, Wei Li. The Kung Fu master claimed to be a disciple of Tai Chi and to possess outlandish powers. He boasted of using an invisible force field that enabled him to keep a dove on his hand and pulverize the innards of a watermelon without damaging the skin. Yep, outlandish is the perfect word to describe it. The two faced off in the basement in the central Chinese city of Chengdu for a match that people won't soon forget. legit. After sizing each other up for a few seconds, Zhu advances and furiously hurls punches to Wei's head. The master of Tai Chi immediately stumbles to the ground, and Zhu can be seen leaping forward and raining down blows on his opponent until the referee had to stop the fight. It lasted all of 20 seconds. Guess we won't be doing Kung Fu anytime soon. Then we have Sumo. Sumo is a traditional sport that is widely respected in Japan. In fact, it's part and parcel of Japanese tradition. This is not to offend Japanese people or culture, but sumo pales in comparison to MMA. Sumo is described as a form of competitive, full-contact wrestling. It's where a rikishi, or wrestler, attempts to force his opponent out of a circular ring or into touching the ground with any part of his body other than the soles of his feet. Many sumo wrestlers have been pitted with other athletes who have significantly lower body fat contents, and they just didn't do well at all. Many sumo wrestlers have tried to prove themselves against other fighters, but they walked away unsuccessful. Sumo was actually the first martial art exposed in the UFC. The fight between sumo wrestler Tyler Tully and Gerard Gordeau lasted 26 seconds, and a video of it can still be seen on YouTube. Tully charged at Gordeau and promptly got his tooth kicked out. Since then, there have been many others who failed. Who could forget Dan Fry versus Akebono? If you have the time, you should check it out. This fight saw Akebono submitting at 350 of the second round. The fight happened in 2015 and was even labeled the Freak Show Fight of the Week. Akebono, at 6'8", towered over Fry, who was only 6'1". Although Akebono kept pressing and forcing Fry to a corner, Fry landed some big shots which eventually dropped Akebono to the ground. After the former sumo champion hit the ground, Fry pounced on him and ferociously pounded until he had no other choice but to submit. Let's talk about Wing Chun. Wing Chun is a martial art that's not as popular as Kung Fu or Sumo. In this discipline, they teach students to refrain from facing the opponent directly. What's up with that? Anyway, what they do is try to angle off and hit the opponent at a close range. Developed by a Chinese martial artist in the 1600s, folklore has it that the development of the fighting style is quite unique. A woman named Ng Mui was said to chance upon a snake fighting a crane. Mui stated and studied how the two animals fought with each other because apparently she had nothing else better to do. She then later combined what she learned that day with what she knew of Kung Fu to create a new discipline. The martial art favors a relatively high, narrow stance while keeping the elbows close to the body. However, Wing Chun is designed to end a fight and to defend oneself, although practitioners of Wing Chun will argue with what we're about to say. MMA beats Wing Chun. If you want further proof, you can just watch the video on YouTube. Last on the list is Tai Chi. If you live in China and you wake up early, let's say 5 a.m., you'll see Tai Chi practitioners, mostly old people, practicing in the park. You can't mistake the slow, deliberate, and non-threatening movements. They look more like they're doing stretches. Tai Chi is short for Tai Chi Chuan and is usually performed for its wellness and health benefits. With the movements, you'll be able to create flexibility and relax yourself in the process. A lot of people who have incorporated the practice of Tai Chi in their lives have reported countless benefits, including improvement in balance, strength, and posture, as well as better physical and mental health. Although it's mainly associated with older people, it's not strictly for the elderly. It has been a part of Chinese culture since the 16th century and is often portrayed in films as well as TV dramas. It might be beneficial for the body and the mind, but Tai Chi doesn't stand a chance against mixed martial arts. Just search Tai Chi versus MMA on the internet and you'll see what we mean. There's a video of a Tai Chi master getting knocked out by an MMA fighter in just 5 seconds flat. Of course, there's the infamous video of Zhu Xiaodong versus a Tai Chi master. Was that really necessary? Although the fight seemed hilarious, it's an excellent example of why martial arts need to see it to dispel much of the nonsense that's often associated with the role of traditional Eastern martial arts. Do you think the mixed martial arts we've discussed are fake? Or do you think they're not just a good match for MMA? Let us know in the comment section. We'll see you in the next video, so you stay safe out there.